I'm Jacob Bembry, and I'm here today with outgoing School Superintendent Lou Miller. It's her last day on the job today, and welcome to the program, Mrs. Miller.
Thank you, Jacob.
Let's get a little history about how you started in education. I know that your father was an administrator with the Madison County School District for a number of years.
Yes, he
Could you
was.
tell us a little bit about him?
I'm from an education family. My father, Wiley Sermon, moved us to Madison County in 1955. He was principal at Greenville High School at that time. Then he came to the district office in Madison, so we moved from Greenville to Madison. He at one time was principal at Madison High School. I think that was 1961. Anyway, he worked in the superintendent's office until he passed away in 1968. My mother worked in the finance department at the superintendent's office, and she retired as the finance officer in 1992.
Wow.
So my sister Julia is in education. I am. My brother John is the instructional technology manager at the college. My sister Bess is a professor at the University of Texas at El Paso. My sister Lynn is a nursing educator at Calhoun Community College in Decatur, Alabama.
Wow.
So our whole family is an education family.
Well, you mentioned your father, Wiley Sermon, and all. I was just wondering if there used to be another principal at Greenville named Wiley Selman. Did he take your father's place?
No, he was many years after.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
is coincidental.
It is. Now, when you started in education yourself, and tell us about your, did you go where you went to college and then your first jobs? And all?
Okay. I went to North Florida Community College right out of high school when I graduated from Madison High. I went to North Florida and got my AA there, and then I went to Florida State. At Florida State, I majored in English education, and so it was my goal to be an English teacher. My first teaching job was at Osceola Christian Academy. I taught there for 3 years, English in both junior high and senior high. And then I came to Greenville Middle School and was teaching language arts and English 5th grade through 8th grade in Greenville.
Right. Wow. And when did you go into administration?
When my first job as an administrator was Title I coordinator for the district.
Okay.
And that was in 1979. And so after having that job for 2 years, then I went as the principal of Lee.
Okay.
So that was the first time I was a school principal.
Right.
Was at Lee. It was the junior high
Right.
then. It was a pre-K to 8th grade. And that was quite an education for me.
Right.
I loved it.
Yeah, I started the school at Lee myself, and Tom Moore was the principal then.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I think that maybe Larry Alderman or somebody took his place.
Mr. Alderman
Mr.
followed
Miller.
Tom Moore, and then I followed Larry Alderman.
Okay, and then
Or Frank Galbraith was before Larry.
Okay.
Then Larry, then me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing Mr. Miller followed you.
Dennis Miller followed me.
Miller.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, and the when were you hired at the high school as a principal?
Well, I went first as an assistant principal the school year of 1984-85.
Okay.
James Ray was the principal,
Okay.
and I was his assistant. And then the next year, he went to the county office, and I became principal of the high school in 1985.
Okay. And how many years were you there?
I was there for 16, and then I went over to Central School when it
Right.
opened in 2001, and I was there for 2 years.
Yes.
And then I went back to the high school
Yes.
for 2 years. So I was at the high school 18 years total.
Wow. And you were elected as superintendent in
2004.
Okay.
Mhm.
And what have been some changes that you've made in the office, or anything that you've any improvements that you made or any different directions you've taken?
Well, one of the things that I hope to accomplish as superintendent was to get all of our schools accredited.
Right.
In the past, the high school had been the only school that was accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges
Right.
and Schools. And so I wanted to have us district accredited.
Right.
And so we were able to do that. 2010, we were district accredited. And so that was a good thing for all of the schools to meet those national standards.
Right. Mrs. Miller, tell us about your plans for retirement.
Well, this is my 38th year in education.
Wow.
I also turned 60 this year. So I have 2 new grandchildren, a boy 2 years old who lives in Ocala, and a girl 1 year old who lives in Greenville. And so my daughter said, "Mama, do you realize that if you run again and get elected, that in 4 more years you'll be out, they'll be in school. You don't want to miss this opportunity." And I said, "You know, you're right. Grandchildren are such a precious treasure." And so that's my retirement plans, is I'm going to move on to my new job of being grandmother.
Well, there's probably not a more noble cause.
True.
More noble profession. And and they'll have a leg up, I think, because of all your experience as a teacher, and you will be able.
I hope so.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for being here today, and I really enjoyed the interview.
Thank you,
and
Jacob.
I want to wish you the best in your future.
Thank you so very much.
Okay.